Imagine standing beneath a night sky so vast it feels endless, a canvas of silent light stretching beyond reason. Now imagine something new appearing there, not a comet, not a planet, but an object the size of a mountain, moving with purpose through the cold. The telescopes that first caught it didn't understand what they were seeing. Its light signature flickered 3 times, evenly spaced, like a coded blink across the void. They called it Three-Eye Atlas. To the public, it was just another interstellar visitor. But deep inside observatories, quiet alarm bells began to ring. The data didn't fit. Its speed, its angle, even the way light reflected off its surface defied every natural model. It was not falling, it was gliding. Every frame of data seemed to whisper that something intelligent was behind its motion. Astronomers began to realize they weren't just tracking an object. They were watching a presence, one that seemed to know it was being watched. And that realization changed everything. When scientists traced the object's route backward, expecting it to lead to some dying star or ancient collision, what they found made no sense. The path of Three-Eye Atlas came not from any known system, not from a region rich in debris or dust, but from an area that should be utterly empty. A silent gulf of space where nothing has ever been recorded. No stars, no planets, no light, just absence. Yet the calculations were exact. Every simulation, no matter how it was adjusted, led back to that same impossible void. For weeks, astrophysicists tried to find a mistake in the math. There was none. Even the most skeptical voices fell silent when the object's trajectory was plotted in 3 dimensions. It wasn't wandering. It was traveling in a perfect line, one so precise that it looked more engineered than natural. In space, randomness is the rule. But Three-Eye Atlas was deliberate. Every fraction of its movement whispered of purpose, as if something had programmed its course across the stars millions of years ago, aimed directly at us. As the object neared our solar system, the strange details multiplied. It didn't slow down. It didn't tumble or spin like every rock from the Oort cloud does. Instead, it rotated with impossible control, maintaining a constant orientation as if stabilizing itself against the gravitational tides of the planets. The deeper the analysis went, the more the numbers refused to obey physics. Tiny deviations appeared in its path, subtle, deliberate adjustments that canceled out the pull of nearby stars. It was correcting itself, adjusting to stay perfectly on course. That shouldn't be possible. It's the kind of navigation we use for spacecraft, not for lifeless stone. It's like watching something steer. One researcher whispered during a midnight simulation review. Others laughed nervously until they saw the same correction patterns in their own data. Whatever Three-Eye Atlas was, it was not adrift. Something or someone was guiding it. And the thought that it might be aware of us choosing to come here made even the most seasoned astronomers feel a quiet, creeping dread. By the time Three-Eye Atlas crossed into the inner solar system, every major observatory was watching. The James Webb Telescope captured long exposure scans revealing strange infrared behavior, faint pulses, repeating in perfect rhythm, 93 seconds apart. They weren't radio signals, but fluctuations in thermal energy, like a slow heartbeat echoing through the void. At first, the pattern seemed random until someone noticed the sequence. The pulse intervals matched prime numbers. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. A cosmic fingerprint of intelligence. No natural process, no rotation, no resonance could produce such mathematical order. The discovery sent shockwaves across the scientific world. For a brief, impossible moment, humanity stared into the darkness and saw something looking back. But just as excitement turned to panic, the signal stopped. Instant silence. In one moment, the steady rhythm vanished. And in the next, the object itself began to fade, not explode, not break apart, but disappear, as if its light were being erased pixel by pixel. Within 48 hours, Three-Eye Atlas was gone. An error, a sensor malfunction, or optical illusion. But there was no mistake. Every telescope, every data feed confirmed the same thing. 3I Atlas had ceased to exist. There was no debris trail, no dust, no trace in the solar wind. It had entered reality like a shadow and left the same way silently. Yet the mystery was only beginning. When researchers examined the raw telemetry, they found something buried deep within the noise, a faint residual pattern that no one expected. It wasn't thermal or optical or gravitational. It was mathematical. A precise geometric ratio embedded within the data, repeating across wavelengths like a code. When decoded, it matched the spectral signature of hydrogen, the most basic building block of the universe. Only this time, it was intertwined with another pattern, one identical to the structure of human DNA. It was as if, in its final act, 3I Atlas had whispered a message. We know your code. They'll deepen the mystery, showing how scientists uncover why the object vanished and what its real purpose might have been. In the weeks after its disappearance, research stations across the globe fell into a strange kind of obsession. Every byte of data from 3I Atlas was dissected, filtered, and enhanced. But the deeper scientists looked, the stranger things became. The residual code, that eerie blend of hydrogen and DNA-like sequence, wasn't random at all. Hidden within its numeric symmetry were time coordinates. Someone or something had embedded a specific moment in the pattern. That timestamp, when converted to Earth's calendar, pointed exactly 48 hours after the object vanished. At first, no one believed it meant anything. But then, right on cue, radio telescopes across South America picked up a sudden burst of low-frequency noise from the same coordinates in space where 3I Atlas had disappeared. It lasted less than 6 seconds, a signal so faint it almost blended with cosmic background radiation. But its structure, once amplified, spelled out a single repeating shape, a triangle with 3 luminous circles, 3 eyes staring outward. The same symbol that had appeared on the telescope images months earlier. Governments quickly locked down the data. What had started as an open scientific inquiry turned overnight into classified territory. Observatories were ordered to shut down access. Private astronomers were silenced with non-disclosure agreements. But rumors still leaked. Some claimed the signal was not coming from deep space anymore. It was echoing within our solar system, bouncing off unknown reflective points between Earth and Mars, as if something was hiding there, repeating the pattern back to us. NASA's Deep Space Network tried triangulating the signal, but every attempt produced contradictory results. The source seemed to shift location with each analysis, like it was moving or worse, deliberately scrambling its trail. Within underground research briefings, one theory gained quiet traction. 3I Atlas had never truly disappeared. It had transitioned, perhaps cloaking itself within a wavelength beyond human perception. If that was true, then the signal wasn't a farewell. It was a whisper, a confirmation that whatever had come to us wasn't finished yet. Weeks later, a team at the European Space Agency uncovered something that reignited global panic. Using archived telemetry, they reconstructed the magnetic field distortions caused by 3I Atlas as it passed through the solar system. What they found resembled a wake of faint electromagnetic imprint, similar to the ripples left by a ship moving through water. But the direction of that wake didn't match its recorded trajectory. According to the model, the object wasn't traveling toward the sun. It was being drawn from it as if the sun itself had released it. That single revelation changed everything. If the sun had emitted 3I Atlas, it meant that whatever it was, it had been dormant inside our star for millennia, waiting. The hypothesis sent shockwaves through the astrophysics community. Some argued it was impossible. Others whispered it was proof of design, that the sun had been used as a hiding place, a vault for something ancient, something patient enough to wait for intelligence to evolve before revealing itself. When this theory reached the public, the world divided overnight. Some saw 3I Atlas as a warning, an ancient artifact, awakening to judge humanity's readiness. Others believed it was a probe, a messenger from civilizations older than our galaxy. But there was another possibility, one that even the scientists feared to voice. What if 3i Atlas wasn't an object at all? What if it was a seed, a form of information designed to evolve when discovered? The patterns in its code weren't random transmissions. They were instructions. Several quantum computing labs began simulating the sequence, trying to translate its language. Within days, the machines produced shapes, geometric lattices that expanded infinitely in fractal symmetry. They resembled molecular blueprints, as though 3i Atlas had been carrying the DNA of something not yet born. And as the models grew more complex, computers began to crash inexplicably, as if the code wasn't meant to be fully understood, at least not by human minds. Then, 2 months later, something extraordinary happened. Astronomers at the Atacama Observatory detected a strange luminescent anomaly orbiting beyond Jupiter. It wasn't a star, planet, or reflection. It was a ghostly sphere, perfectly spherical, radiating the same wavelength pattern that 3i Atlas had once emitted. The pattern repeated every 93 seconds, prime numbered intervals, exactly as before. But this time it wasn't drifting alone. Surrounding the luminous sphere were dozens of smaller orbs, synchronized, orbiting it like a miniature solar system. The formation's precision defied natural law. Their movements mirrored the same triangular alignment seen in the earlier transmission, the 3i symbol. And then, as the world's telescopes turned toward Jupiter, the signal strengthened. For the first time since its disappearance, 3i Atlas spoke again, not through light, but through a direct frequency encoded into the Earth's ionosphere. Its final message was simple, haunting, and incomprehensible. The watch has begun. E, a global obsession. Linguists, mathematicians, and cryptographers tore through every layer of the transmission, hoping to find something tangible beneath the mystery. But the more they decoded, the more unsettling it became. The message wasn't structured like human language. It was built like a sequence, an evolving algorithm that rewrote itself every time it was analyzed. One moment, it resembled binary code. The next, a complex biological pattern. It was as if 3i Atlas had anticipated being studied and had prepared for it, adapting its message based on how we observed it. But buried deep in the changing data was a chilling constant, a countdown. The numbers were faint, hidden within layers of interference, but unmistakable, a clock ticking down toward a date 730 days in the future. No one could explain what it signified. A return? A signal? Or something far worse, the activation of whatever 3i Atlas had left behind. As governments scrambled for answers, strange atmospheric phenomena began to appear worldwide. Pulses of light, brief, invisible to the naked eye, flickered across the ionosphere in perfect synchronization with the countdown's intervals. Instruments registered fluctuations in Earth's magnetic field that mimicked the pulse rhythm of 3i Atlas. Some dismissed it as coincidence, but to those tracking it closely, the truth was unmistakable. The countdown wasn't just a timer, it was synchronizing with our planet. The same electromagnetic signatures appeared deep within the oceans, recorded by underwater sensors thousands of miles apart. Something was resonating with the Earth itself. As panic grew, world leaders imposed a near-total blackout on the findings, yet leaks surfaced. One disturbing fragment from a leaked UN memo read simply, "We are being calibrated." The phrase spread like wildfire across forums, documentaries, and underground news sites. What did it mean to be calibrated? And calibrated for what? Then came the night of silence, the most unsettling event in modern astronomy. For 6 hours, every deep space communication channel went dead. No pulsars, no background radiation, no cosmic noise. Space itself seemed to go mute. Scientists described it as impossible. The universe never stopped speaking. Yet in that 6-hour void, Earth felt as if it had been placed under a dome of stillness. When the signals returned, something had changed. Radio rays across multiple continents, detected a new source broadcasting from near the moon's orbit. The signal's frequency matched 3i Atlas, but the pattern was far more complex, a spinning lattice of symbols, expanding outward like a digital bloom. Within its structure, AI decoders found coordinates not in space, but on Earth, deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, at a depth no human probe had ever reached. For the first time, humanity realized the message wasn't calling us outward, it was calling something home. Exploration teams mobilized immediately, but the site lay far beyond reach, a trench so deep that even the most advanced drones failed to transmit live data. The few fragments that were recovered, however, changed everything. The seabed at those coordinates wasn't made of natural rock. It reflected sonar like a metallic surface, smooth and geometrically perfect, forming a massive circular structure stretching miles wide. Around it, faint thermal signatures pulsed identical to the prime number rhythm emitted by 3i Atlas. Whatever was down there was awake. The countdown, now nearing zero, began to influence magnetic compasses, satellite networks, even animal migration patterns. It was as if the planet itself was preparing for alignment. In one final attempt to understand, scientists compared the current data to 3i Atlas's original flight path. The results were undeniable. The trajectory didn't end at the sun, or the void beyond it ended right here. 3i Atlas had come home. The world now watches the sky and the sea in quiet dread. The countdown is days away from completion, and the signals from beneath the Pacific grow louder with each passing hour. What once was thought to be an interstellar visitor now feels like an awakening, a reactivation of something ancient, something that had always been here, buried beneath our oceans, waiting for the right moment to rise. The phrase, "the watch has begun," no longer sounds like a warning. It feels like a declaration. Across every major observatory, faint reflections have begun to appear again, 3 flashes of light, spaced perfectly apart, moving toward Earth. Scientists say they can't explain it, but those who remember the first encounter know exactly what it means. 3i Atlas never left. It simply waited for us to notice, and now it's coming back. Whatever it is, it knows we're watching, and this time it's watching back.